Welcome to my playthrough of Horrified. Excuse me. Welcome to my playthrough of Horrified. Hi guys, and here again from Mad Lad Designs with another tabletop playthrough. Taking a bit of a break from the print and play, but we'll be getting back to those shortly. I'm going to be playing Horrified. A game 1 to 5 players, really is simple to play, definitely a gateway game. I really enjoy this game. This is a sort of game you would introduce to somebody who doesn't really play games or just thinks board games are Monopoly and Cluedo and that's it. Dead simple to get into, really fun, and you are playing a character or a number of characters that has to rid the village of monsters, universal monsters, and for those of us of a certain age, we will remember these monsters, most of them in black and white. So what I will do is, in this video, this is going to just be the setup video, and I'm going to start by setting up the board. Okay, so I have set up the board so far. I have placed 12 random items out, which is what you do. These are the items. And you place them where it says on the bottom. Where did I get this from? The laboratory, which was there. 12 random items out. I've also put the villagers out ready. And I've got the dice ready. Things we need to do are get the monsters out. And get the heroes selected. And then get the various cards out as well. Just before Christmas, I created a poll on a couple of Facebook groups as to what monsters I should play. I've counted up the votes, and the votes came out for Frankenstein and the Bride, the Wolfman, and the Mummy. So those are the 3 monsters we're going to be playing with. So let's take a look at those. And we're going to start with Frankenstein and the Bride. It comes with 2 monsters, so that we're going to have 2 creatures for the price of 1 roaming around. We have Frankenstein and his bride. There we go, if you can see those. And then we have these dials. I'll come to these in a second. So up here we have a little bit of information. Frankenstein and the bride must be educated so they can live peacefully. Here it says what happens when we roll the die and we get this symbol. The bride moves 1 closer to Frankenstein. This section here is what we need to do to make the creature vulnerable. It's the same for each creature as well. This part here you need to do before you can get rid of the monster. These is where the dials come in. We have 1 for Frankenstein and 1 for the bride. Frankenstein's dial goes there on 0. And the bride's goes there on 0. And it tells you exactly what's going to happen here. What you need to do. In Frankenstein's space, use yellow, which is one of these. Or in the bride's space, use blue, which is one of these. And increase the monster's humanity by that item's strength and move the monster that many spaces. So what happens is you need to land on either Frankenstein space or the bride space. When you do, let's say we landed on Frankenstein space. There. And if you land on Frankenstein, you can use a yellow, you discard the yellow, and then you move the dial that many spaces. Simple enough. So you'd go 1, 2, 3. And again, if you landed on the bride's space, you can use blue. So as long as you've got the actions to use them. So that's for 1 action. If I wanted to use both of these, it would be 2 actions. And so, for example, I could say for 1 action, there's the bride. I'm going to discard the blue, so I can go 1, 2, 3, because it's got 3. And then for my last action, I could discard the 2, and I go 1, 2. What you're trying to do is trying to get these dials both to these green areas here. Frankenstein 11, the bride 8. When they do, either one, you are going to turn the dial over. So let's say the bride was here and Frankenstein reached 11. We're going to turn the dial over. Frankenstein is now humanized, and we just now need to get the bride humanized. She needs to go to 8 and turn over. When they do, and both of these are turned up like this, then all you need to do, here it says, if both dials show the monster's face, they are defeated, otherwise increase the terror level. Place Frankenstein at the graveyard and the bride at the dungeon. So if they are on the same space and the dials are up, they can be taken out of the game. They've found love, they've been humanized, and they wander off to their own devices. If one of them is not turned over and they meet on the same space, I'm going to sort this camera out. Just give me a second. Sorry about that. The camera was slowly falling down. Don't know why. Hopefully I've fixed that. But where was I? Yes. If one is still face down and they both meet on a location, then Frankenstein is going to go back to the graveyard, the bride is going to go back to the dungeon, and the terror level is going to go up 1. I'm sure that's going to happen in the game. But that is Frankenstein and the bride. Get them together, get these 2 dials up to the green, turn them over, get them on the same space. They are out of the game. So next up we have the Wolfman. So here we are with the Wolfman. Various things come with the Wolfman. We are going to place this overlay on the laboratory or the lab section. So as you can see, place a blue on the spot matching the item strength. If all the spots are filled, take the cure. So that is going to go on the board. I'll do that shortly. Some cards will say if a player does not have the hunted emblem, then give this to the player. And then there'll be some cards that say focus on whichever player has this emblem. And you'll see that come into play. There we have the Wolfman, a little Wolfman. And then we have the cure. The cure actually goes on here. So the Wolfman is tormented by his form. Develop an antidote and administer it to him. And if we roll this symbol on the die, then everybody in that location is going to be hit, and not just the current player or the player that is on that location. Then we have this section, obviously, where we need to make the Wolfman vulnerable. So we do that by landing on this laboratory, this lab location, and we are going to be discarding blue, these 2. For 1 action, you're going to discard a blue, and then you place it on here, and it says 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So for 1 action, I could place this here on the 2, and then for another action, I could place this here on the 3. Once all these are filled up, whoever is the last player to fill these up, you are going to take the cure. And then when that player has the cure, they need to land on the Wolfman space and cure him by using red versions. So there's some red tokens. I'm not going to get them out, but you get red tokens. And because there's 3 here, this means you can use multiple red tokens, not just 3. You can have more than 3. As long as these add up to 6. So if these were all red tokens, then I could use these on the Wolfman space with the cure, and then the Wolfman is then taken out of the game. So that is the Wolfman, and next up is the Mummy. So here we have the Mummy. Again, the Mummy is going to have an overlay, and this is going to the museum. And the Mummy has a little puzzle to solve on him. So that's going to go on the location. Just like the Wolfman, there will be cards that say give the player the soul sign if they don't have them, and then attack the player with the soul sign. And there's the Mummy. And then we have these, the scarabs. And these scarabs are going to be placed on here. So I'm going to move these out the way because I'm going to do that now. So what you need to do to set this up is, let's make sure I can see them. So you need to take the 1, the 2 and the 3, and then 4, 5 and 6. I'll put those there for now. You're going to take the 1, 2 and 3, turn them face down, and then you're going to mix them around. So I'm not going to look here. I'm going to try not to. So hopefully those will be mixed. You can't see which ones they are. There we go. So once you've got those thoroughly mixed, you're going to put them on the 4, 5 and 6 side. So this is 1, 2 and 3, but we're going to put them on the 4, 5 and 6. And I'll put that one there, and that one there, and then that one there. Then you turn them face up. So that's the 3, that's the 2, and obviously that's the 1. And then you do the same for the other side. So 4, 5 and 6, turn them face down, give them a mix. Hopefully you can't see what they are. Then you place them out on this side and then turn them over. So 4, 6 and a 5. And what you will do is when you land on the museum, you will discard the yellows. So for example, I might discard this one for an action, and you'll see how many what number it is at the top, the strength of it, and you can slide these around. So for example, I could go 1, 2, 3, and you are trying to place the right numbers in the right side. So 1, 2 and 3 need to go here, and 4, 5 and 6 need to go there. So I'll move those back again. So it's a bit of a sliding puzzle as we do that. Once we've got all these in the correct order, oh yes, I'll give you a bit about the mummy. The mummy has risen. Decipher the tablet so you can return him to his tomb. If we roll this symbol on the die, you flip the lowest face up scarab face down. So in this instance, if they're all face up, I would flip this face down. You cannot move a face down scarab. You must use one of your movement points from whatever you've discarded in order to flip it up. So in this case, if I discarded this for 3, you don't have to flip it up if you don't want to, but you can't complete it well, you can't move a face down scarab, so you might have to flip it face up. So I might go 1 to flip it face up, and then 2 and then 3. Simple as that. So if you roll the die, you flip it face down, you cannot move a face down one. You must use one of the movement points, shall we say, in order to flip it face up. That is, there we go, and there we got them, and then we can squeeze in just down there, there he is. So we have Frankenstein and the Bride, the Mummy, and the Wolfman, and those are the 3 characters we are going to be playing with, or should I say 3 monsters we are going to be playing with. And next up we are going to choose the characters. So we're going to choose 3 of these at random, but we have the mayor, the professor, the scientist, the courier, the explorer, the inspector, and the archaeologist. So I'm going to give these a mix up, and I'm going to choose 3 of them. 3 brave souls to try and fight off the creatures, the monsters. Let's see what we have. The first one is going to be the archaeologist. He has 4 actions, as you can see up here. His special action is pick up items from an adjacent space. Normally you have to be on the same location as the item to pick it up, but obviously the archaeologist can pick up an item in a space next to him. You can use this special action as many times as you like, but each time it's going to cost an action, so you can use all 4 actions to pick up things around him. And he's going to start in the docks. So that's our first character. So So let's give these another little mixed up, and let's see, let's go with this one, and we have the courier. He has 4 actions. Place your hero in any space with another hero. So he can jump about. That's alright. And he starts in the shop. Okie doke. So our last hero is going to be the Explorer. She only gets 3 actions, but her special action is she can move to anywhere on the board, any non-water space. Only the creature from the Black Lagoon can move on water, but she can teleport between different locations. That's okay. And she starts in the camp. So, and these go off to the side. So these are our characters. So these 3 are going to be tackling the Frankenstein and the Bride, the Wolfman and the Mummy. Let's set these up on the board. Okay, I've finished setting up the board. I've got the museum overlay here. It goes on top of the museum, and that's where the mummy goes. And then the laboratory overlay there. And that's where the Wolfman goes. Frankenstein goes in the graveyard. The Bride goes in the dungeon. I've placed our characters out in the docks, in the shop, and in the camp. I've also laid out our characters, and over on this side, which you can't see much of, the monster mats, the character sheets for the monsters. I think most of it is done. The only thing left to do is the cards, which I'll bring these out, are these. So I'm going to split these into 2. These, we're going to be drawing from these every turn. These are the monster action cards. If you ever need to grab a monster action card and you've run out of them, then it's game over, unfortunately. So this is a sort of time limit as well. And I'm going to put them up there. I think I'm going to move the box out of the way, give myself a bit more room. Those go there. Then we have the perk cards. Okay, these can be grabbed every time a villager is taken to the place they want to go. Whoever does that can grab a perk card. But each adventurer starts with a perk card. So let's see what the Explorer has got. What do we see here? Can we see that? We have move each hero up to 2 spaces. And it says play during any hero phase. So Explorer's going to have that. Next, give it a little shuffle, and Hunter becomes prey. Choose one. Place the Wolfman in any space or move any monster 3 spaces. Well, we do have the Wolfman, so that could come in handy. And then finally for the courier, we have, these are just play aids. I think there's about 5 of them. Repel. Move each monster up to 2 spaces. Move each monster. And that's for our courier. And those can go up to the top there. You might not be able to see them, but they are up there. I think that setup is correct. If there isn't, then I will do the corrections in the next video. Oops, she's fallen over. So that is the setup done. Join me in the next video when hopefully we can start getting rid of some of these monsters. But until then, I will catch you guys later.